we'll leave them there looking at the timber circle, and we'll rejoin Robert Graves in 1944. He sits at his desk, hunched over a nautical map. His publishers have asked him to detail the route taken by the Argo, according to the scholars. So he's there, occasionally reaching for a magnifying glass, making tiny marks with a fine black pen. And while he's there making the marks on the map, suddenly the thought of fighting trees comes into his head. Only that morning he reread the poems that Taliesin spoke to Elphin on the journey back from the beach. And Robert suddenly realises that those poems form a series of 22 riddles. Not only does Robert realise this, but he realises that he knows the answer to all 22 of the riddles. He's not a Welsh medieval scholar, he's not a scholar of any kind. He doesn't even speak Welsh, but nevertheless he knows. For a while he thinks maybe he's going crazy, but since there's no lunatic streak in his family, he concludes that he must simply be being inspired. So he goes over to his father's bookshelves and he pulls down the books that belonged to his grandfather. His grandfather was a Celticist and a specialist in translating the ancient Irish tree alphabet. He turns the pages and finds the right page, and there it is. The 22 letters of the tree alphabet. The 22 riddles. There he's got the cipher for breaking the code of Taliesin's poem, The Battle of the Trees. Robert's mind races furiously all that night, his pen barely keeping up, and the same all the next day, and in 3 weeks he's written a 70,000-word book called The Roebuck in the Thicket. He knows that the Druids used to keep their secret knowledge of writing to themselves, and he's sure that that knowledge is hidden in this poetry. He's also sure that Cerridwen is an incarnation of the ancient triple-moon goddess, and Taliesin is her son and sacrificial priest. Silence. Words into foolishness fading. Silence prolonged, of thoughts so secret, we hush the sheep bells and the loud cicada. And your black agate eyes, wide open, mirror the released firebird beating his way down World Avenue of blues and yellows. Should I not weep? Profuse the berries of love, the speckled fish, the filberts and white ivy which you with a half-smile bestow on your delectable broad land of promise, for me, who never before went gay in plumes. And Mython sits in his feasting hall, drinking and boasting about the animals. And before long a messenger comes through the mists from Anon with a message from the king, Aram, king of Anon. You have taken something of mine, and I want it back. And Mython ignores the message. He carries on feasting and drinking and boasting and celebrating, and before long another messenger comes. You have taken something of mine, and I want it back. Again, Amyphon ignores the message. He carries on feasting and drinking and boasting. But the third message is different. On the morning of Callan, at dawn, at the place where you took the deer and the dog, I will meet you in battle.